This is the talk of Music City Real Estate.
Welcome back to another episode of the Talk of Music City Real Estate,
where we educate and motivate all things real estate.
My name is Monte Mohr with Realty One Group Music City.
Hey, and I'm Carey Ann with CMG Financial and my mortgage team.
Every week we'll be posting a new episode chock full of Nashville real estate value.
Yes, and you can follow along and subscribe at talkmusiccity.com.
Got a question for us? Ask away at questions@talkmusiccity.com.
Monty.
Carey Ann, good to see your smile.
Yes, always good to see you.
Crazy world we live in out there in the mortgage business, I imagine.
It's joyful.
We are blessed.
Smiling.
We are blessed with one of my favorite realtors in town,
yes,
Mr.
we're excited.
Alejandro Mercado.
Mercado,
yeah, just like I said.
He was trying to get the roll of the tongue in there too. I think it got him messed up. Too funny.
Yeah, no, it's good.
Alejandro, you also go by Alex, I understand?
Yeah.
Okay. What's Lauren call you?
Alex.
Okay, I'm going to call you Alejandro then. Okay.
Yeah. A little bit different. Yes,
that's all right.
I love that name, first of all. I think it's a really cool name. But anyhow, so Alejandro, I asked you to come on here to our podcast because, first of all, we speak to a lot of agents here in Middle Tennessee, and you have been such an inspiration to our company. Since you've joined us, you've been with us now, I think, 4 or 5 years, something like that?
Yes. Yeah, 5 years.
Wow.
Something, how time flies. You have watched you go from an average producer to a top producer. Tell me just off the top of your head, was January, I forget, was it January that was a pretty good month for you? I think you did $5 million or something like that.
Yeah, I think it was January or February. One of those. Yeah, it was good.
So it was a pretty decent month for the for the year.
Especially that part of the time of year.
Yeah, especially
amazing.
for that time of year. I thought that was really awesome. But anyhow, so tell us a little bit about you. We like to know a little bit about our guests as far as the background that helps you become the person you are today. Okay, and then we'll get into some of your insights that's one of the things I've been so impressed with you is that irregardless of market conditions, you hold yourself, and I believe you have a plan that you're walking out, and I've seen that in demonstration now, and it continually amazes me how well you're doing. So, tell us about you. You were born in Mexico.
Yes. I was born and raised in Mexico, close to Mexico City. So it's a very small city that nobody knows. It's called Irapuato. But I was there. I went to college in a bigger town. I used to be an accountant.
Wow, I didn't know that about you.
Yeah, something that I didn't like it. I think I just picked that career because my dad wanted me to be.
Okay.
Yeah, so that was, it was hard. I barely passed, but it's just.
An accountant. That's. I don't see you as an accountant.
Yeah, I know. I don't see that.
Hence why he's not doing it anymore. There you go.
Maybe it's the Lamborghini sitting out here in our parking lot here at Realty Music City that you drove it.
I love it.
Maybe that's why I don't see you as an accountant. But anyway, so I'm sorry for interrupting you.
No. So I came here when I was 26 years old. Yeah. I came to Dallas, Texas first. I didn't know the language. So of course I had to, I knew that I had to stay here. We moved here because we had some issues, in Mexico. It was our town. We had a lot of the drug cartels and they were threatening my family. So we had to come to the U.S. But, we came here without knowing anything, the language. I knew I could not be here an accountant or anything. So I started from, the beginning, where it was my first job. I was in the kitchen, and it is Mexican, of course, Mexican restaurant. So I remember that. It was good. I met a lot of people there. I love to hear the stories from people that came to this country like in a different way, because I was very blessed to come here with my family. A lot of people come here without their families, and they go through a lot during the process. So
I met your folks. They live in this country, correct?
No, they actually don't like all the allergies and the cold weather. They said, hey, we're gonna go back, and whenever you need us, just let us know. So they come here like 2 or 3 times a year. Okay, so that's good.
Yeah. Well, I've met them a few times. They're precious people as well. I'm sure they're proud of you to see where you've come in your life and everything.
Yeah, they are. They are. Yeah, just I learned a lot, from my parents for sure. Yes.
Was it work ethic and drive and looking and searching for something greater?
Yeah. I don't want to sound very, religious, but they definitely told me to in everything I do that I need to first, pray about it and live it in God's hands. And whatever happens, I just need to be content because He's under control. So that's it. They were not expecting for me to, drive a car like this, or just they don't care about any of that. Or my brother, they're very humble, and I love them. They just wanted me to be happy. Just doing the right thing, of course.
Amazing. So you went from your first job in the restaurant.
Yeah.
Did you navigate other restaurants? What was your step into real estate?
No, right after that, I came to Tennessee. I was married before. So I came to Tennessee, Clarksville.
Okay.
And that's where I applied for a job for, being in landscaping and everything. I like it. I like landscaping.
Yeah.
I love doing that too. So, didn't last long. Then I had I always like working out. So that's, I met a few people in Clarksville. They wanted me to train, with them.
Okay.
So I said, hey, I'm not certified or anything like that. So any injuries, you're on your own.
Yeah, sure.
So but I can help you. So I started like that, and people from Nashville, they were contacting me about it. And finally, I think I wanted to be closer to Nashville, but I couldn't afford it. So I bought a property in Springfield. I had to sell my condominium in Mexico, and I could barely afford a place in Springfield. So
wow,
yeah, that was my first purchase.
You've come a long ways, man.
Yeah, I believe when I checked that in MLS, I think you had it listed before, but you probably don't remember. You had a lot of sales.
In his 40 years of glory.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah, right.
We won't know which one of the years it was that.
No, a lot of glory, that's for sure.
I love that. So you are living in Spring Hill.
Springfield.
Excuse me. I apologize. Yes, on the north side. Yeah. So, and then doing training and coaching and guidance with weights, etc.
Yes. Yeah. After that, I went through a lot of stuff and changes in my life. It was the most important was my divorce. Things didn't work out, and I had two options to either go back to Texas or stay here in Tennessee. My English wasn't that great, but I had to sell the house. So I contacted a real estate agent, and then she gave me a price that I didn't like. So that doesn't sound right, but that's how I thought it was worth more because I saw other homes selling in the same area.
Yeah.
So I was like, it doesn't make sense. Anyway, I went ahead and just get my license, but I was still trying to do Uber or something different because it was not enough to pay the bills. So of course I was trying to be productive. I went to this. I also got a job at this clinic in Midtown. So I was trying to help, like the front desk and everything else. I met wonderful people. I've done so many things here in Tennessee, but I loved everything I did before in the past. Yeah, met great people.
Yeah, that's great. And I think when we were talking before, like if you're a people person, you're just attracted to like learning more about, others, right? And being able to just open doors, through talking with more folks. Yeah.
It was, I think I realized that I was good at talking to people, even though my English is still not great, but I was.
It's awesome, man. It's awesome. Man.
I was.
Don't lose the Hispanic accent, okay?
Yeah.
Don't get so the people can't tell.
Yeah.
Okay. Seriously.
Right. Yeah. So I got my license, and I didn't really had the time, to really look for bikes. I was excited I got a license, so like woohoo! But I didn't have anyone. Nobody wanted to sell, their house with me. I had no experience or a buyer, so I just had my license. It was just had to put it somewhere, and I didn't know anything else.
But I love the story of why you got the license, right? The intrigue, right? The questionable, moment there, saying, right? That I think that's interesting. We hear that sometimes where people get into the business because they went through one real estate transaction themselves that
maybe wasn't favorable for the industry, and they were proven, well, maybe it's not so hard. Maybe I could do that as well.
Yeah. No, and I ended up selling that house, and I did it myself. Yes. Yeah. So that was
for more than what she wanted to sell for. There you go.
A lot more. So
there
I was like, that was good. That was good. Yes. Yeah. And then I purchased another property closer to in Whites Creek. Actually, I still have that little place, and I started just investing in other things, lots, and after that, I just I needed buyers or sellers. So I didn't know how to do it, but I knew I had to start somewhere. So I decided to door knock. I started door knocking.
Wow.
Okay.
So it's I think when I started doing it, it was maybe like 50 degrees outside. So it was not great. It was not ideal. Mm-hmm. But I did it. I was like, well, I'd have to at least door knock at least 100 houses. And if one of them, I believe in statistics. So if I get a 1%, that would be great. I think
that's where your numbers background came in handy.
Yeah.
Right. Do the math on that.
The accountant piece, for sure.
Yeah. So I just wanted. I knew that if I do, if I make an effort, that it's I'm definitely going to find someone. Mm-hmm. I just need to do it, and I didn't like it. It was hard. It was hard to get the rejection from people that didn't want to open the door. Of course, I can find that annoying now when somebody's just trying to offer. But I also, I was trying to make it. I was trying to approach the people not in an aggressive way. But if I knew that they were not even interested, I would just say, hey, I try to quit quick. I had like 5 seconds, 10 seconds. I'm not going to introduce myself. They won't care. I know who I am. Just going to be quick, and. The second day that I did it, I found this lady who said, I actually want to sell my house. It was an older lady. So I still remember her name and last name. She became one of my, now it's like when I use passwords, she's one of those passwords. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, she was very sweet. She was very patient. I had to tell her, hey, this is my first transaction, so I just want you to...
told her that?
Yeah, wow. I had to be honest.
Awesome.
I told her, but I'm definitely gonna find all the answers for you, so I'll do. And it was really good. It was a good experience, and I got even more motivated. So that after that, I said, okay, well, I'm just gonna start doing more door knocking. So it definitely it works. Yeah, and I think a lot of agents don't do it now. I don't do it anymore because I'm getting busy. I cannot do a lot of things now, but definitely for people that want to start in the real estate business, you have to start from zero. But
I remember when you shortly after you joined us, I found out that you were also a bodybuilder, and you would meet people at the gym. And you now obviously, I don't know how many cars you have, but I know that the Lamborghini is a beautiful car, and it seems like one of the theories, and it seems to be working, is that people would see you in the gym and inherently want to be like you because you're driving this beautiful car, you're working at the gym, you got a cool demeanor about you, and you were able to that opened doors. Was that one of your that you eventually grew into as far as techniques?
So what I want from people, I want people to ask me, what I do. If it's, I use the car as a tool. I bought it for that reason. And I know it gets attention. So once that you get attention, then you got, you can just do whatever you want. And then and now it's up to you to use that tool. You can get that tool, but never take advantage of it. So that's what I did. Same thing with the gym. I work out. I like doing that, but at the same time, I want the attention first, so I try to be more personal. When you go to the gym, you don't want to really say anything to anyone. Especially, a girl or a guy, they usually have everybody's listening to music, so you don't want to bother. So the perfect place is when you go to the steam room or the sauna, right? So that's where you get, what I want. I don't know if I have to flex or something, but I want somebody to say, hey, what are you eating? That's it. Or you say, hey, how are you doing? how are you doing today? And I would never say good, because I know that's the end of the conversation. I would say, I'm tired. They're like, oh, really? Well, I know the next question is going to be why. And I say, well, I was working all weekend. And then the next question is going to be like, well, why? What do you do? And I said, well, I was preparing, open houses. I'm a real estate agent, so I have to work the weekend. Usually all weekends are busy for me, so I just come up. For me, my weekend is pretty much Tuesday and Wednesday. Those are my free days, and that's it. That's all I need to know. I don't have business cards. For some people, it works, but for me, I always get their phone number. And that's how I do it. I keep posting stuff. If you're following me, sometimes I post a little bit of I have a variety of stuff. It could be about fitness. It could be something about the car. The car was the same thing. You can join a car club. I mean, again, if you're not a people person, it's not going to work for you. But if you're using that, vehicle to actually meet people, you want to hang out with them, then, it's just going to be, you're going to attract, that attention. They're going to want to ask you what you do for a living. So now, I became good friends, with some people in the car community. And I knew it would be a big investment, but I think you have to just make it different. You don't want to be the same agent. I want to be a little bit different.
That car makes a big statement. And think about that, Carey Ann. There's two, both the gym and the car clubs, those are very, very inclusive groups, that if you're at the gym, you're part of the group. If you got a car like that, you're part of a really tight group. It doesn't have to be just a Lamborghini, just a high-end sports car. It's not uncommon when we're driving to Florida that we'll see 10 Corvettes, for instance, go by. That's a club, basically. And people that at the gym, they have a respect for one another, especially when you can see that they've been working out, like Alejandro. Or if they're driving a car like that, it's like, wow, what do you do? I want to know more about that. It starts those conversations with people that already trust you because you're doing what they're doing.
Yeah, I love that you referenced, and I wrote down, it's a vehicle to turn ahead, to create an opportunity for them to ask more questions, right? And it kind of sets you up to be able to, instead of handing out a business card and to be just among the sea of so many real estate agents, you're really breaking the noise, right? That noise of just sameness, right, within the industry. And I think it's genius. I think it's great. I think, find who you are. You love, working out. Like, that was a passion, right?
Yeah,
that was just natural passion. Loving cars is a natural passion, right? And I think you're onto something. Why not sell houses? Well, if they can afford a nice car, you would, common sense would say, hopefully the needle goes the other direction, that they can afford a home, right? Type of thing. If they're going to invest the time and effort in their physique, which I'm realizing is quite costly with the food, right? To eat healthy, to do this, to invest, in that time too. Again, most likely you have an opportunity to possibly, purchase real estate. So I think it's genius.
I think it is too. Just setting it up from the conversation, that he's careful on how he responds to that conversation, so it's not a dead end conversation. It's creating curiosity.
Yes, always be curious. I think, and you're setting them up for that.
Setting them up,
it's a win
for a conversation.
Yeah,
in the right location.
Yeah, always. I think again, if you're good in sales, if you're a people person, then you can everything is going to be an opportunity for you. You can just go get a shake. You can talk to that person. I got a client now that he was my Uber driver a couple of weeks ago. So of course, his name was Louis or something, or Luis. We're like, oh, Hispanic, right? Yeah, that's it. You need to find that connection.
Right.
And after that, we were just talking the entire time. He told me that he had a house that he needs to sell. He wants to purchase another one. So I was like, perfect, and I invited him to some private parties and stuff like that. I think people want to be part of. Like that's a big thing now. A lot of people want to be part of. Want to be in a circle, in a social circle.
Sure, accepted in. Yeah.
Yeah. So I invited him, and now we got him qualified, and he's gonna purchase a home. So it's just. Always just take that opportunity. I think that you have to be positive. It's not always easy. I tell people stay motivated, and I think you can just see that everywhere. He's like, yeah, I mean, there's nothing new about it. It's hard to stay motivated when things don't go your way either. Sometimes we have, at least for me, the gloomy days. I hate them. It's cold, and I have a hard time, just to stay motivated and say, okay, let's go out and let's just sell some homes. But that's when you need to you have to be an expert in staying, on how to stay motivated in those days. Because the good days, you're always motivated. But those bad days, when you lose a contract or you lose a client and it's rainy, it's cold, you have to learn how to overcome and just still
get back in the game, right?
Yes.
Just kind of be right there and present. As you shared your story, I know love got back in the air for you, and you remarried and have a beautiful family. Now I think that's amazing, and that's probably a large motivation too for you.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I want to see the
Two little
family.
kids now.
Yeah, two kids.
And you brought your dog in the other day, and everybody loves your dog. I don't know if
that's another vehicle.
If you're doing that good with your dog, I can't imagine your kids are going to be amazing.
Yeah,
I hope so. Right? Yeah. But
so Alejandro, what would you say to an agent who's maybe only been in the business for a short time? One of the things I love about you is when this whole lawsuit thing started, you haven't been moved by that. You haven't been concerned by that. I think part of that's your confidence and within yourself. So what would you say to somebody newer to the industry who maybe doesn't have a circle? Maybe they're from another country. What would you say to them to get started in this business and see the kind of success you have? And then I have another question for you after that.
Yeah, well, you have to adapt to, the market, whether it's good or bad. So when I heard news about the lawsuit, at first I was worried because I didn't know. Once that I got all the information and I knew what that was about, I knew that most of my clients are also my friends, and I know they're loyal. And that's one of the things that I know that's not going to change. That's one of the things that is very, I have to say that I wasn't worried about that part. I think when you have a client, you really have to see it as your friend and part of your family now, because they're always going to be loyal to you, regardless of what happens in the, this whole lawsuit. People will use your services because they are loyal to you. I am loyal to some people as well. I don't care if somebody else gives me a better deal, but I want to use that person just because I want to help him, because I care about that person.
So how do you instill that in a client? In a business that doesn't always have that kind of loyalty. How are you building that loyalty with your clients that you can be that confident about that fact?
Well, number one, you have to show that it's all about knowledge. Of course, they're not gonna trust you if you suck at this. So number one, with enough experience, they're gonna know. I mean, I'm glad that we. Even the car, they're gonna see that it is proof that I
know what you're talking about.
Yeah. So that's one of the things. But I don't know. I really care about people. I have to say that. Sometimes too much, and sometimes I need to just go home and stay, because I love being out. I love being with friends, and my wife knows. So it's not easy if you really wanna. If you're starting this business, you have to be out. The last place you want to be is home. Of course, right now it's different. I have two kids, but when you started, and it's you have to be out. You have to just join any clubs or any there are a lot of apps right now where you can just socialize, but that's the number one. That's what I would, if I had to start in another city, that's what I would do. I would try to connect with people.
Yeah, that's huge. What I'm hearing from you is coming here, restarting in an industry that you knew nothing about, except for the fact that something felt wrong and you wanted to make it right with the person trying to sell, your house. And if you want it, you can create it, with a strong faith, with motivation, and a willingness to try, I think is what we're hearing here.
Yes. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah,
And thinking different, right? And acting different. You using vehicles, as in a car is a vehicle, right? The gym is a vehicle. The dog, I think, is another great vehicle, right? I mean, I think using those vehicles to turn heads, right? There's marketing, there's branding, there's business, right? Knowing each lane very well can create opportunities.
Yes.
And then I love what you say too, is, study your craft, right? Be that expert. I think that is so key, right? I love when I see people come to the education classes and seminars to learn more or collaborate with others, right, that have done it before you, right? With you being a leader with 40 years experience, right? You can learn so much from, and you always say success leaves clues, which I love. And I think we can always pick something up. So that's a great message as well.
Yeah.
He was reading my book not long ago.
Look at that. I mean, you have a book too. I remember back in the day when you would write those articles. We've known each other for a long time.
Principles are forever principles, regardless of market conditions.
I swear, some of the stuff we did so many years ago, right? I mean, old school is the new school. I'm going to keep thinking about that. But it's such a pleasure having you with us, and you're making a difference out there, building your business. I mean, to think that you were a top producer in a season and or a quarter that's usually down means you were doing something when other people weren't, right? And continue to do that. I think that's really what grows business today.
One more quick question, Alejandro. Well, first of all, before I forget, how can people reach you? You are an example here that people are going to want to talk to. What's your phone number that you can share with people?
Yeah, 615-513-5468.
Say that one more time.
Yeah, 615-513-5468.
Awesome.
Well, thank you so much for being here.
One more quick question is, it seems like a lot of your business is coming from investors. Is that correct or not?
Yes.
And those investors are who you're mainly picking up from these environments that you just shared with us, whether it be the car or whether it be the gym? Are those where you're finding your investors, or are you doing something else that would generate investor business?
Well, every time I think it's a little bit of everything. I think, I try to pick people. I mean, there are a lot of first-time buyers, so I guess it's the gym, if it's the gym community, if it's the Facebook friends, if it's the ex-co-workers or anyone. You just, I think I get a little bit of everything. But of course, I'm trying to aim the car community now. Yeah, just because it's easy when I am dealing with a friend instead of just a client that, when we don't feel the connection, is going to be hard to deal with that, with that client because they might not understand, how complicated things get. But that's what it's a lot better just to have friends first. And then it makes everying a lot easier.
Yeah.
When you have to represent.
Well, one more question, and we'll win this.
He's full of them today.
I love talking to this guy. He's just he's a wealth of information. So I got to know. Lauren is your wife's name.
Yeah.
So you came home one day and said, "Sweetheart, we're gonna own a super expensive car. Can you tell us a little bit insights how you were able to convince your wife that you're going to buy a Lamborghini and that Lamborghini will pay for itself?"
It's the perfect family vehicle.
It's a perfect family
We can
vehicle.
get 2 kids in it.
Yeah.
Am I putting you on the spot, brother? Because
No. I think all my friends, they know the story. She didn't like it. I mean, we went to see the car. There was just a day that I was not actually wanting to get that car. It was another one that was probably half of the price.
Sure.
Okay.
But then I saw the car and I asked her, "Do you like it?" And she's like, "Well, of course I like it." And that's it. After that, we drove home and I said, "Hey, I'm gonna apply for that car." She's like, "Well, you're working hard. If you just apply and see what's it." And anyway, I was approved. And when I got approved, I just say, "Okay." I just put the down payment like right away, but I didn't tell her that I bought the car. So yeah, the next day they delivered the car to my house. So
I guess one like that gets delivered to your house.
She wasn't very happy. She wasn't happy, but I had to tell her it's a tool that I'm gonna, and I think, and I got the car right when things like changed in 2022. I think it was like July, August.
Okay. Yeah.
So that was like, oh, wow.
Right at the change. Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Perfect timing.
I lost a lot of people at the same time. I just, I knew that this is a tool that, I drive it every day. This is not a car that I can just, I don't want it
Bring
to
it
get
out.
depreciated. No, that doesn't work for me. I actually need to drive it.
Use a tool.
I need to drive it. I need to take it everywhere.
What color is this car?
It is gray, but it has a nice interior. It has a green color, and that's why people say, "Hey, I like that." And then I'm always super friendly with people because you expect for somebody to be like, "Oh, don't look at me." And no, I'm like, "Hey, I like it. Do you want to sit on it? Do you want to drive it? Do you want to?"
Yeah, you're very real, very touchable. You're a very human being. Driving this amazing car.
Yeah, just at the end, it's just a car now. But yeah, I mean, if I can, in less than 2 years, I think it got it's
appreciated. Depreciated.
No,
what is he trying to say?
Depreciated. Yeah. But at this point, it doesn't matter because you already made.
Yeah, but I think you appreciated your business though. Meaning, like sometimes a tool, right, is used to.
It's paid for itself.
Yeah, exactly. To launch something else, which I think is a win. Plus, you enjoy it. It brings a smile to your face.
Oh yeah. I love it.
And smiles to other people's faces too.
Well, it's just cool for like Jim and I went out there just to stare at it for a minute.
7-foot man, could you even get in there?
I couldn't do that, but
his knees are up the top.
I can still, you got to appreciate that kind of vehicle. You just have to, as a man, you just have to. I think but it immediately speaks authority in whatever you're doing. Okay, you could be collecting stamps, but you must be a hell of a stamp collector to have that kind of vehicle. It speaks volumes. I'm not saying everybody needs to go out and buy a Lamborghini.
No, I would be not good behind a Lamborghini.
I'm just saying that I was curious about the conversation at home. Because I know you told me, hey, that car is going to pay for itself, and you said it with such confidence at a time that was an interesting time in the market. We know when that happened, and you just stayed confident about it. Nobody could tell other than you were confident about it. Now it's become one of your key tools, I think, in your repertoire.
Yes, yeah. So it was actually a very good thing, and now Lauren is, drive it all the time you want.
There you go. It's working. I love that.
Exactly.
I love that. Well, that is a win, and so grateful that you're with us. Thank you for sharing your story. It definitely will help and make a difference for another.
Yeah.
And we are grateful for all of you. Thank you so much. You've been listening to the talk of Music City Real Estate.